So if you didn't know, David was a representation of Christ to come. And there's many ways that this is shown throughout Scripture. I think one is God says that he desired a man after his own heart, referring to David. Also, we see in the beginning of the book of Matthew a genealogy from David to Christ. Here's what it says in Matthew 1:1. This is a record of the ancestors of Jesus the Messiah, a descendant of David and Abraham. So throughout the Old Testament, there's many people that are supposed to be like a kind of a representation of Christ to come. Now, of course, they're all sinful people, and Christ was a perfect person. However, they're still supposed to kind of show these are kind of qualities that Christ will have in a kind of mirroring aspect. And David is one of the most clear pictures that we get of this. There's actually a ton of different ways that he reflects who Christ will be, but probably the one that has stood out to me the most over the years is what happens to David's sons after he died. So it says this in 1 Kings 4, "But for David's sake, the Lord, his God, allowed his descendants to continue ruling, shining like a lamp, and he gave by him a son to rule after him in Jerusalem. For David had done what was pleasing in the Lord's sight and obeyed the Lord's commands throughout his life, except the affair concerning Uriah the Hittite." So David's sons weren't exactly great people most of the time. Even Solomon, who's said to be the wisest man to have ever lived and was the son that ruled directly after David, by the end of his life, he had married or had concubine relationships with over 1,000 women. So that's what led his heart away from the Lord. Yet Solomon was not punished, and God says, "For the sake of my servant David." And here's this beautiful picture that I want you to see. We are not punished because of what Christ did. In Romans, it talks about how we are adopted into sonship. In other words, we are the sons of God in the sense that we are adopted into his family, or the daughters. We're adopted into the family of God. And because of what Jesus did on the cross, we are not punished. In the same way, because of how David lived his life, his sons are not going to be punished, and God upholds this promise that he made to David. My encouragement to you as you read through the Old Testament is to be looking for other people that reflect Jesus, that are a picture, a demonstration of the Christ to come. And it actually helps us tie the Bible together. I don't think that we should look at the Bible as an Old Testament versus the New Testament. And the New Testament is so different from the Old Testament because the Bible in reality is a united book talking about one person, and that's Jesus. I hope this builds your faith. If it does, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you back here tomorrow as we continue to read through the Bible together.